it right now.
Harrigan,
And I'm gonna.
Harrigan, do you want to mute everybody
Yes.
so we can hear you?
Yes, sure. I don't know how to do that.
If you go to participants, it'll be in the bottom right corner.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so I did just mute everybody so that the speaker, whoever's speaking, will be able to hear it. I'm going to share my screen right now. I have a PowerPoint that I'm sorry, that we put together. And I just, thank you for being patient. I'm kind of new at this also. We're all learning. All right, how does, there we go. How does that look? Is that okay? All right. So we're doing our remote learning, and I have a list of your third grade team. So our third grade team at Harris has been working really hard to get you and your child what you need to know to have them ready for whenever we go back to school and to keep learning while you're at home. We don't all work with every single one of your children. Mrs. Grinstead does. She teaches all the third graders math, and Mrs. Craig does. She teaches all the third graders science. The rest of us don't have the privilege of seeing every child every day, but we know your children, and we're all working hard together to make sure every kid gets what they need during this time. Okay. All right, so first and foremost, we just want to thank you. We know that this is not easy. You are a parent, you're a teacher. Many of you are still going out to work. A lot of you have to work at home. And we appreciate you very much. This parent-school partnership is strong, and we're very grateful for that. So thank you very much, and thank you for being here tonight. Okay, so just for our Zoom right now, oh boy, sorry, hold on. Our norms, our guidelines for our Zoom session tonight, we're asking that you stay on Zoom. So our speaker, I just lost that slide and I don't know how to go back. So I'll just say it. If you could stay on mute, our teachers are gonna do a presentation and then we will take questions. At the bottom of your screen, there's a chat, a little chat box. So if you have a question that you'd like to ask at the moment, you can always type it into that chat box and we'll kind of be monitoring that. Hopefully, we will answer most, if not all, of your questions just through our presentation. So another thing is, please just be patient with us, be patient with others asking the questions. A lot of you probably have the same questions, so just make sure you're listening. If you need to take notes, that's great. But we'd like to be very to the point, and the point of this is to make things a little less confusing rather than more confusing. So thank you for your patience with us, and we thank you for your patience. So here is a document that Mrs. Harris had sent out about the Zoom rules for your child. We've been having a couple Zoom classes every week for each child, and we want you to be aware of the expectations we have for them during these Zoom sessions. We ask that your child show up about 2 or 3 minutes before the scheduled time. We don't want these sessions going on forever and ever. We kind of have a time frame that we plan these lessons for. So if your child is ready, signing on a minute or 2 or 3 ahead of time, and always, 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 please make sure they have something to write with in a paper. We ask that you have a quiet place for your child to take part in these Zooms, free from distractions, their siblings, their pets, their video games, their music, their TVs. I know that that's very hard. That's not easy. But if you could they're usually not more than about a half an hour. So if you could limit distractions for your child, that would be wonderful. It helps them and it helps us and it helps the other kid in the Zooms. Maintaining respect with their speaking, their writing, and their appearance. We haven't had a problem with that in any of our Zooms. The only thing is when there's a lot of movement, that's very distracting. So if you could just remind your child to kind of stay put and focus on the speaker, just like we do in school. We expect your child to stay on mute as well until we call on them or ask them to unmute. And we really want to see the kids. We can see that they're paying attention. We can see, you know, their facial expressions, and we just miss their faces. So it would be great for us to see them. And just like in school, we teach them that their eyes should be on the speaker. That's a way of showing respect and showing attention. And so the same goes for our Zoom meetings. And then if you could just remind them to save the snacks for after. Chewing gum, eating and drinking, and some of the other kids get more interested in what the kids are eating and drinking rather than the lesson. So we'll try to keep ourselves free from distraction. And if you could make sure your child is free as well, that is great. So this is where I get a little, oh, I got it. All right. So now here is a link I'm going to click on to our Harris webpage where you can find your child's assignments. Now, I'm not going to show you how to get there. We have sent a video, which we could always resend to you if you need a reminder. If your child needs a reminder, that's fine. I'm just looking to see if there's anybody else waiting. And the other teachers are going to go through this document with you tonight so that you can have a better understanding of what we're expecting from your child. So this document is on the Harris webpage, and it's in English. And then if you kept scrolling, the whole thing is also in Spanish. And like I said, the other teachers will be going over that as well. Oh boy. Oh, it's just loading for the next screen. No. Okay. This you may have, hopefully you have already seen. This is the work chart that's being sent home or sent to you every week. It's what we're keeping track of as far as the lessons that your child is doing at home. As you know, for fourth quarter, your child is going to get a complete or an incomplete. So we are keeping track of these so that we can give your child a report card grade, which will be complete or incomplete. So when you see this, if you see a C, that means that your child did the expected assignment for that week. And if you see an I, it means that it's incomplete and they haven't done it or they haven't completed it. Maybe they started it and did some of it, but if they didn't complete the whole expectation, then your child is going to have an I there. And I think the other teachers will talk to you a little bit about complete and incomplete and if you can make work up. So hopefully everybody has seen this. If you're not getting it through email or Dojo, then please reach out with an email that will work best, because this is an important document for you to see what we're seeing. And it also kind of shows you that, you know, week by week, there's only a few weeks left. We'll get through it. As far as signing on, this is a reminder to you and to your child that they signed on to a computer at school multiple times a day. They know how to do it. They should know their username and they know their password for signing onto the computer and for getting onto iReady. And I just kind of gave you an example here, just so you know. Every student has a student number. It's also called their lunch number. We can get you that if for some reason your child doesn't remember. And their password is always a capital SP, lowercase p, and then it's followed by the 6 digits of your child's birthday. So if your birthday is April 22nd, 2011, you have the 04 for April, the 22 being the 22nd day, and then the 11 for the year 2011. Some programs might have a different username and password, Spelling City or Vocabulary, and the teacher in charge of that program will let you know what the password and username is for that. And you should have, I'm pretty sure everybody got emails or dojos too that said that. So our third grade team consists of Mrs. Mrs. Grinstead, who teaches all students. She is the homeroom teacher for room 231. Mrs. Craig teaches science for all third grade. She's in charge of homeroom 229. Mrs. Pelletier is one of our ELA teachers. She is the homeroom teacher for 230, and she is the ELA teacher for 230 and 231. And as far as our remote learning goes, she's in charge of Spelling City and Vocabulary. Mrs. Bogatz is the other ELA teacher, reading and writing. She is the homeroom teacher for 228, and she teaches ELA for 228 and 229. And for our remote learning, she's in charge of our Scholastic News reading lessons. And she does spelling, city, and vocabulary for her homeroom as well. Miss Gianetti is with students one class throughout the whole day. She's an interventionist with homeroom 230. So she teaches all of those subjects for that one class. And she is in charge of our Scholastic News writing. I follow homeroom 231. I'm a special education teacher. And Miss Gonzalez is our ESOL teacher, and she works closely during the ELA time with homeroom 228. Miss Gonzalez speaks Spanish, so if you ever need an interpreter, I hope you don't mind Miss Gonzalez, but I'm putting you out there. We use her, and you may as well. So I'm going to open it up to our other teachers so that they can talk to you about their responsibility as far as remote learning. So do you want to start with Mrs. Grinstead? And do I have to unmute her? Okay. No, I have to find her, so please be patient. There's Mrs. Grinstead.
Did you unmute me? Oh,
I unmuted you.
okay.
I'm gonna mute myself now.
Mrs. Harrigan, can I share the screen now, or do you have to stop sharing?
I will stop sharing. And then I think you should be able to.
Okay. I am going to show you, parents, how to get onto your child's iReady math program and to where to find all the lessons, because I know some of you are having trouble finding the video lessons and the lesson comprehension check. So if you are on the application page and you log in.
Yeah, but you got to do.
I know what to do.
Somebody's still talking, but anyway, you click on the iReady button. Now you're going to log in with the password, and it's going to bring you to choose a subject. Your children should be doing reading and math. I'm only going to talk about the math right now. So if you click on the math, now you'll see on my right-hand side, it says My Path. This is the lessons that your child is working on at her or his individual level. It is their path they're going to follow. Over here, it's teacher assigned. And all of these lessons, and you have a scroll bar here, which some may go down, are lessons that I have assigned. The lessons that have this check and a big check on them are the comprehension check. Uh-oh. Where'd my screen go? Something happened there. Sorry about that. The lessons on the teacher assigned side. If it says lesson, this is a video I assign them to watch. If it says check, this is the lesson comprehension check I want them to complete at the end of the week. Once they submit it, it will disappear from this side of the screen. If they get on it and they only watch part of the video, it's going to stay in here, and it's going to, like down here, say in progress. It means they've started it, but they didn't finish and submit it to me. So anytime you're looking and you say, why didn't they do it? I thought they watched the video. I also give a video of myself in the beginning of the week that is on YouTube that you can watch, and your kids can see what we're going to do for the week. But that's not the video I can keep track of, because I really can't tell who watches that video and who doesn't. That is hopefully helping them, but I can't keep track of it. So this is what you're looking for, anything here. And even though there's a due date, I usually give it an extra week, because if somebody doesn't get it done and they want to go back. But for some reason, if it goes on a little too long, if you look up here, it says current and past due. This is the current assignments, but if you want to go back and make up one that you didn't do, they're past due. So you can click on either. Now, the workbook pages that I assign your children to practice, if you do not have that workbook and you come down here to the bottom to the bookshelf, your book's going to be right there for you. So even though it's not in front of them, they can copy a couple problems down, do it on a notebook, and you can send it to me that way. Here, my progress will show exactly how they're doing. You can click on the completed work and it will give you their score and their grade for the work. Hopefully that clears up a little bit of where to find. That's mostly what I'm doing. It's the iReady lessons, and it will be under the to-do button here. Okay, Mrs. Harrigan, I don't know if somebody else wants to take a look at the reading end or.
Thank you. I think we'll just, please stop. I think we'll just go down the list. So I think Mrs. Craig is next. Oh, hold on, sorry.
I'll stop sharing in a minute.
Oh, were we both hitting it? Oh, sorry, you do it.
Hi, everybody. So I'm going to share my screen too, and I'm just going to pull up what the assignments look like. So everyone should be looking at this every week so that they can see what is due for that period. So each one of these assignment sheets is going to have 2 weeks on it, the week of May 4th and the week of May 11th. And I'm just going to scroll down to science, which is at the bottom of the page, and show you this blue box here. This is really just for your information. This is not the assignment. This just tells you how to get to the different websites that we might use for the assignment. Down below that, you'll see that science looks a little different because it says for the weeks of May 4th to May 15th. Science only gets one assignment per every 2-week period because science is allotted less time than ELA and math. So in this white box, this is where you're going to find the actual assignment. So for this week, it was to listen to my YouTube video about a read aloud. And then after that, your child would go to STEMscopes and read and listen to STEMscopedia, and then also do the content connections video. So I'm going to show you that as well, just so everybody knows. Kids know how to get to these things. All of the things that we're doing are things that they do regularly in school. So none of this is like a surprise to them. I just want to find where my, so bear with us. Each time we share something, we have to make sure it's on our screen in order to share it. And of course, mine is not. So just hold on 1 second and I will get there. Okay. Cross your fingers, everyone. Okay. So this is, they go to the student apps page and they log in to STEMscopes, which is near the bottom of the page. And once they get on that, their assignments are listed for them. They don't have to go looking for them. They're right there. I just want to show you, sometimes I put little notes on there so that they know, for example, STEMscopedia, that they can turn text to speech on. There's a little toggle button. I'll show that to you. Is that coming up to STEMscopedia? Okay. So up here at the top, I can hit that little button and then it will read to them. Now they don't have to read this. They just need to read the actual content part. So it will start to read it. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it or not, but they can go through and listen to the whole entire text. This one's a little lengthy, but if it's reading to them, it's not a big deal. Once they get to the end, they need to come up to the top to this little turn in button and click that. I'm not going to know, I'll know how long they were there, but I won't know that they completed it until they hit the turn in button. So that's super important. The other thing I want to show you is on the content connections video for this week. The video is up at the top, but down below there are 9 questions. So once they watch the video, they can come in, what can be used to pull metal out of junk, type in their answer. I'm just going to do a little quickie thing and then go on to the next thing. I'm going to erase that. after they go through all of the questions and put in their answer in each of the text boxes, again, they have to come up here and click turn in, or I won't know that they're done. It'll show that it's in progress, but I won't be able to tell that they've actually completed that assignment. I'm gonna stop sharing. Another thing that sometimes we use is vocabulary. In the next set of assignments, there will be a vocabulary assignment. When they go in, they're gonna use their ELA sign-in. When we were in school, we had a science sign-in and there was a little bit of confusion. So it used their ELA sign-in there. It says that on the assignment page so that they don't get confused. And help me out, vocabulary. Is there a submit button at the top when they're done, like vocabulary cards? It automatically saves it. Okay, so just wanted to check on that. But whenever you see those submit buttons or turn in, make sure once you've completed the assignment that you do click on that so that it relays that information to me that your child has completed that assignment. So in light of only having that one assignment over 2 weeks, if in fact you missed an assignment, which you can check on your little chart when you get that at the end of each week, you can go back into the Harris webpage, go to the week for that assignment and complete it and let me know that you've done it. And then I can give your child credit. They have until the end of the year to make up assignments, but it's, you know, probably a good idea to do it sooner than later so that you don't have too much to make up near the end of the term. And I think that's it. Only other thing I wanted to add was make sure you check your dojo and emails regularly. We send things home quite frequently. I had a big mess up with Zoom this week. I apologize to everybody. But things go home regularly, are sent out regularly. So you want to make sure you check that. That will keep you in the loop and let you know if anything has changed or anything that comes up. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Mrs. Craig. We will move on to Mrs. Bogatz. Is that okay?
Yeah.
You're unmuted.
Mrs. Grinstead would like to add something really quick. She's got to be unmuted.
There you go. I think we were
Hi.
both doing it, sorry.
Hi, I'm sorry I'm going backwards, but I just wanted to let you guys know with that chart, some of your children are getting I for incomplete on the Math I Ready because they're doing a lot of minutes. They're doing 45 or an hour and a half, or some are doing 3 hours, and that's awesome. But if you don't have 2 lessons passed, because what happens, moms and dads, is they can turn on iReady and the minutes are just going to keep running. And they can get up and they can go do something and they can leave. But if they're really focused on the math and what they're doing, then the program says after about 20 minutes, they should be passing 1 lesson. So after about 40 minutes, and we're giving them 45 minutes, they should be able to pass 2 lessons because they are lessons that are at their individual level. Thanks. Sorry, Mrs. Bogatz.
No, that's fine. And Mrs. Harrigan, can you unmute Mrs. Pelletier? Also, we're going to tag team.
You got it. You're both unmuted.
Okay. All right, so I'm Mrs. Bogatz, and we're going to just go over briefly the Scholastic News, the Spelling City, and the vocabulary. Scholastic News is, we would like your kids to read it, but the worksheets that go along with it, it's not mandatory. It is, but it isn't, because some families are printing out the papers and having the kids do them and sending pictures of it, which is great, but we know not everybody is able to do that. And I know some of the documents are able to be editable, if that's a word, online from the Harris webpage, but we know that also is difficult if you don't have a laptop and you just have maybe a cell phone. So once again, please do your best with the Scholastic News. I will show you how to get in that. And then we'll go to Spelling City and vocabulary. So I'm going to share my screen if I can find where it is. So this is the app page for the kids, and they would find the Scholastic News down here, and they'd click on it and come to the login. So over here, I don't know if you can see it, but you guys are blocking mine, but you'd click on Scholastic News. and the current issue will show up. Well, you click on Scholastic News again, and the current issue will show up, but this issue was last week's issue. We had to go into the archives to get a Scholastic issue for this week. So what you would do is go to the search bar, and this week's was about sloths, which if your kids know me, they know I like sloths, so that's why I picked that. So you would search for it. Can you see my search come up? Because sometimes the screen gets a little crazy. And you want to click on issues over to the side. So this is the issue that should be for this week. So I hope that clears up any confusion about that. And then you can open it up in English or Spanish, and you can go through the magazine, and there are some videos to watch with it. You can watch the videos here, or once you open the magazine, you can also watch the videos that way. So hopefully it'll load and you can see that. So then you would just go through, which I have to move this, you'd go through the magazine. And this is something we did in class every week. And then there are things you can click on to watch the video and all of that. So I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna stop sharing this, and then I'm gonna go to Spelling City and Vocabulary. Mrs. Pelletier, anything you wanna add to that?
Scholastic? No, that was good. It does read to you.
Yep, it does read to you. And I know Miss Giannetti will get to the writing, but I'm gonna now go to Spelling City, and it's gonna show Flocab first, I believe, but that's okay. So Spelling City, here I logged in as one of my students, and you can see here at the top where it's a green tab. A few weeks ago, all kids were working under Mrs. Pelletier, but it kind of got confusing and a lot of work for Mrs. Pelletier to have over 100 children for her to monitor. So I took my kids back. So that would be an issue if you are not caught up. So your student would just click on the green tab at the top and go to Monica Pelletier's class, or they would be at my class. And then your assignments are listed. So this is week 27 spelling, and we alternate weeks. We have a week of spelling, and then we have a week of phonics and writing. And my two classes, majority of the kids to log in for Spelling City is their first and last name and their homeroom. So my homeroom kids would be their first and last name and 228, and Mrs. Craig's homeroom kids would be their first and last name and 229. There are a few kids, if they have kind of a common name, they might have a couple numbers after it. And if you still need help with that, please feel free to email me or Dojo, and I can help you out with that. Anything, Mrs. Pelletier, for that?
Mine is the same thing, first and last name. Sometimes it's first name, last initial, and their password is either 230 or 231, depending on which homeroom.
Okay, great. So I think I can just, can you see the vocabulary?
Yes.
Okay, because sometimes you can't click from other screens. So here I logged in as another student, and it shows right at the top the assignments. So you can click on that, and then you will show, it will show that this week's assignments was the 3 doors, and it's just video and vocab cards. So what we're doing now with vocabulary is 1 week, it's the video and vocab cards, and the next week it's going to be the video, the vocab game, the read and respond, the quiz, and the lyric lab. What is the lyric lab? So the lyric lab is, let me try to go to it. What you want to do, so Sadie started this and Mom gave me permission to share her page. You have to use the words in rhyming sentences. A lot of the kids are just writing the words or writing a word and just finding a writing word with it. We would like them to do their best to write rhyming sentences. If that is difficult for your child, and I know once again that some of you are working and aren't able to sit with them and help them, which is perfectly fine, have them just use the word in a sentence. Mrs. Pelletier, you on the same page with that?
I was accepting anyone that would put at least in a sentence.
Yes, and we want you to use, there's 10 words. We'd like you, not you, your child, to use at least half of them. If they can at least use 5 with trying to rhyme, and if that's difficult, then maybe, yes, the 10 words would be best for them to write in a sentence. So once again, the assignments are at the top. And as we are moving on with with complete and incomplete.
Mrs. Bogatz, can you actually pull that back up?
Okay, yep. Give me 1 second to find it.
Yep.
Here it is. Go ahead.
Can you show them the part where, okay, do you see Sadie's name? It's in the right corner.
Yep.
All of the kids need to make sure that they log in and they see their name. But most importantly, if you go more towards the left, they have to see that there's assignments there.
Right.
If they're just logging into vocabulary, they can still see it. They can still do the cards, except we're not seeing it.
Right.
It has to be underneath their name with your SP number, and then the assignment button will pop up.
Right. And with my 2 classes for vocabulary, the same thing is their first and last name, but now their password is the SP password that they use for vocabulary.
And that's what mine is, first and last name with the SP. And again, I had parents saying, well, they did it, but I'm like, but I don't see it.
Right.
They do have to log in, and they have to see the assignment with like a number. Like
Yep.
right there, that means there's 8 assignments that she's
Right.
working on.
And of course, because of all this being home, some of the past lessons, please don't worry about the past lessons right now. Get this week's work done first, then please feel free to go back and do any of those other lessons. But we'd like the kids to complete the week's lessons first before they go back.
Thank you.
I think that's it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so again, just vocabulary takes 2 weeks to complete it.
Yep.
And Spelling City, we do 2 weeks with the same words because we do spelling and then we do phonics using the same words.
Great. And also, iReady for reading.
Oh, yes, sorry.
No, that's
So-
okay.
Sorry, there's a lot. So iReady reading, we're asking the kids, once again, same as math iReady, to do at least 45 minutes, but once again, they have to have 2 lessons passed. If they have a lot of minutes, but they have not passed 2 lessons, they will get an incomplete. So for ELA, it's just the 2 lessons and the 45 minutes. We don't have the comprehension checks or the video like math does. Does that make sense?
Yes. And thank you. And I also want to say, everything that we're asking your children to do, they've done in school.
Yes.
So I know I'm trying to put myself in your shoes and listening to all of this information that we're giving you. And it's, yeah, I can't imagine actually being in your shoes right now. But just know that it's not different for your child. Everybody needs reminders, a little bit of help here and there, but for the most part, right, Javier Sanchez? Right? This is all stuff that they've done
Right.
at school.
Jory and Ace.
Yep. So to them, they like, even if you showed this to them, they'd be like, oh yeah, you know. The other thing I just wanted to add about iReady, those iReady lessons for both math and reading are at your child's independent level. So that is something that they can do and should do without your assistance. Because as they get it and maybe they pass a lesson, it's going to move them on at their own pace. So I know we understand with work and other kids and craziness, that's something that they can do on their own. Mrs. Grinstead, did you want to say something?
I just wanted to add to that because the iReady My Path is at their own level, but the iReady teacher assignments
Yes.
are at grade level.
Right, and there's no teacher assigned ones in ELA. So all your ELA iReady is just your child's own independent level. And math, like Mrs. Grinstead said, the My Path. So thank you.
Can I just add one thing for
yes.
just ELA? So for ELA, it's optional and it's fun. In the blue box that Mrs. Harris sent over, is what's called independent reading. We have 2 programs for independent reading, Scholastic Literacy Pro. It's the same place you would find Scholastic News. It just says Scholastic Literacy Pro. There's stories that read to you, there's videos, it's wonderful. And the second one is Epic. You do need a teacher code. Mine is CTI dash, let me see, 5828.
Maybe you could put that on a dojo, Mrs. Pellet.
It's been on Dojo. I can do it again. So most of the parents that I have, I think I've been seeing them doing either Scholastic Literacy Pro or Epic.
My Epic code is, I believe, WMP9799.
Ooh,
It is, I just
Good
looked.
memory.
It's WMP9799. And if you need that, just email us, dojo us. And now some of the kids have learned to use Teams, so you can send us a message that way, or even video. If you need a video call, you can do that through Microsoft Teams. Okay,
Awesome.
I think we're done.
Thank you. All right, so we'll move on to Miss Giannetti, who does the scholastic writing, sorry, scholastic writing.
Oh, okay. Hi. Okay. May I share my screen? If I can figure it out. I can't.
No, you should be able to.
Can you see it?
No.
My mom has a question.
You can't see that screen?
No, we can't see your share.
Oh no. Okay. All right.
Doreen, hold on 1 second, okay? Let's let Miss Giannetti finish and then we'll take questions.
Okay. So I just do Scholastic News writing, and it's the 2 weeks, and it goes with the Scholastic News reading. So the first week I'll do a writing, and we will use our writing organizer. And the second week I will try to do something different. But both assignments always have a video. I will always have a video with them, so you can look at the video. And the videos are found underneath the lessons, and they're in red. And if you just hover over them, then it will tell you you have to push the control button. And is that it? Push the control button and click. And then it will go right to the video. Okay? I can't get back to you now. Oh, there you, okay.
Miss Gonzalez, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
I wrote it on the chat, but for the students English and second language, I also do Scholastic Reading and Writing. I have an additional video for them. They have the choice. They can either do the one that Miss Janetti posts, or they can do my video. So if one is too hard, they can obviously come to mine and do mine. And also we give extra help for any subject for those students of English as second language at 10 a.m. on Tuesdays. We've sent those emails to those students so they can join us on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. And I put that in Spanish for those that don't understand.
And I forgot, Ms. Gonzalez, we had talked about this. The students that are ELL, instead of iReady, they do
yes, I wrote
Imagine
that
Learning.
too.
So
Yes.
they will know that. They'll do Imagine Learning for ELA, not iReady, but Ms. Gonzalez lets me know, and I mark it under the iReady column as complete or incomplete. That's it.
Great, thank you. So there haven't been a lot of questions in our chat, and I'm sure you have questions. So